Hi, my name is Angela Estrella. Who doesn't know Disney? At some point in our lives, we most likely have seen films or series produced by this company. It has been part of millions of people's childhood around the world, and today is one of the most recognized and influential companies in the world. Who doesn't relate to Little Mermaid, wanting to be part of the world, or who hasn't been called Cinderella for doing their chores? It's so easy to relate and identify with their stories. That is the Disney magic. When I was little, I was so amazed by their stories, the colors, and the animation. For example, The Little Mermaid. I always thought how gorgeous her hair looked underwater. Please look at her hair. Her hair is so pretty and red. I love her very much. Since I was so obsessed with their film, I became obsessed as well with mermaids. When I was around 11 years old, I started to using the internet. I spent hours watching YouTube videos. So, if I like Little Mermaid, then will be I thought that it will be all the movie in YouTube. So I decided to search for Disney videos. And you wouldn't believe what I ended up seeing. I found these kind of videos that told the original story of any children's movie. In my mind I was like, what? Original story? What are you talking about? So I decided to see the true story of my personal favorite Disney film, The Little Mermaid. So that's how I find out that Disney movies, most of them, not all, are based on tales from centuries ago. Most of them weren't as pretty as the ones I watched as a child. A lot of them had surreal things, and those stories weren't meant for children. I swear, they had so much things going on. They weren't for children. So I ended up discovering about this story that, spoiler, the Little Mermaid in the original story commits suicide because she couldn't kill the Prince Eric, or the prince, to turn herself into a mermaid again. She had to kill the prince to get her tail. But she was too in love that she couldn't. But he was he was in love with another woman. And I was like, what? What happened to the beautiful ending? I was so shocked by everything the poor little mermaid had to go through to be with the prince who didn't even recognize her because she didn't have voice. In the original story, she as well sell her voice to a sea witch. At the start, and then I start to like discovering this kind of stories, the true stories of the Disney films. So I already know all the true stories about the princesses and the other films of Disney. For another example, look at her, it's so sad. Another example is Rapunzel, who in the original story was sold to a witch for vegetables. I don't know, vegetables. And when she was older, she was raped by a prince and had twins. And the witch finds out that she's pregnant, and she cut her long hair, and abandoned her in a swamp. In the swamp, she found the prince blind because I don't know. But she was so happy to see him with her kids, and she cry in his eyes and heal his eyes with her healing tears. I don't know, that part is so surreal. Oh well. And all the princesses, and all out of all the princesses, she is the one with a most decent ending. I swear, all the endings of all the princesses were so creepy or sad or confusing. Though the craziest story I ever heard is about Pinocchio. Seriously, the author was so stoned when he wrote this story. Read it. You're gonna give me the right thing. In the beginning of this story, he was a talking log that was going to be used as wood for fire or something like that. And he kept screaming for help and help, please help me someone. And the owner was so annoyed by this piece of wood that ended up giving this piece of wood to a toy maker. And the toy maker turns him into a puppet. Well, he's a little kid right now, but a little puppet. And how does Pinocchio thanks his maker, his dad? Well, he hits the toy maker in the head and runs away. And there is also the nice cricket that gives Pinocchio advice. But what happened in the story? You guessed it. Pinocchio killed the cricket with a hammer. Pretty much everything happens to Pinocchio in the story. People steal his money, they try to kill him, they kidnap him to make him a slave. I don't think this story it's a good story to tell my 5 years old. It's too dark. After knowing all these stories and creepy things, did I stop being a Disney fan? No. I like Disney, I love Disney. But why? Because they didn't wrote these original stories that I told you. They grabbed the basic concepts and transformed them into something friendlier and funny for the children audience. They took away the traumatic and ugly things that give us and give us joy, and very sticky songs and happy endings. Disney has marked me through my life. Really, I love Disney, and in their movies have always a lesson to children and older people. You always see in their films comedy and colors like Alice in Wonderland, but you also see sadness and disillusion sometimes, like in Bambi. But these films teach us that it's normal to feel sad sometimes, but in also teach us that life is not perfect. But in the end of every story, things will always get better if you see positive side of it. Like in Cinderella's song that she sings in her movie, that says like, have faith in your dreams, and someday your rainbow will come smiling through. No matter how your heart is breaking, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish you come true. Thank you.